What if you wake up one morning and instead of your normal laptop or phone screen, you see a factory reset prompt? Or worse, a hacker's logo on your company login page? That's what happened to tens of thousands of employees at a major US medical technology company when Iran-linked hackers turned Microsoft's own cloud management tools against them. In March 2026, Stryker Corporation, a multi-billion-dollar medical technology firm that supplies surgical equipment and implants to hospitals worldwide, disclosed a major cyber attack that disrupted its global IT environment. The company said it had suffered a global network disruption to its Microsoft environment, and that attacker activity was still ongoing. Within hours, a hacktivist group called Handala claimed responsibility, posting online that it had wiped more than 200,000 systems across 79 countries and exfiltrated around 50 terabytes of corporate data. Independent investigators later reported that roughly 80,000 to 200,000 devices were remotely wiped in a single operation, making it one of the most aggressive wiper-style attacks seen in recent years. The key twist is that the attackers did not rely on custom wiper malware or ransomware. Instead, they hijacked Stryker's own Microsoft Cloud tenant and used a built-in remote wipe feature designed for IT administrators to factory reset devices. Stryker is not a small-time company. It's a Fortune 500 level firm with tens of thousands of employees, dozens of manufacturing sites, and a sprawling global supply chain. Its IT environment is built heavily on Microsoft's cloud stack, including Microsoft 365, Microsoft Entra ID, formerly Azure Active Directory, and the endpoint management platform, Microsoft Intune. Because Stryker operates in so many countries, its employees use a mix of corporate-owned laptops, tablets, servers, and personal phones, enrolled in the company's Bring Your Own Device, or BYOD, programs. Many of those devices run Microsoft Outlook, Teams, or other corporate apps, and they are tied back to the central Microsoft tenant for security policies and device management. An attack on this kind of infrastructure doesn't just show up as a slow email inbox. It can freeze order processing systems, stall production lines, delay shipments, and ripple out to hospitals waiting for implants and surgical tools. For attackers, that mixture of financial impact and operational disruption is exactly what they want. The group that claimed credit, Handala, is a self-styled hacktivist front that has been linked by multiple cybersecurity firms to Iranian-aligned cyber activity. Researchers at Palo Alto Networks Unit 42 and IBM X-Force have connected Handala to a broader Iranian government-linked actor often referred to as Void Manticore, which is associated with Iran's Ministry of Intelligence and Security, or MOIS. Void Manticore is known for using a diverse toolkit: phishing campaigns, custom wiper malware, ransomware-style extortion, data theft operations, and what's often called hack and leak attacks, where stolen data is dumped online to embarrass or pressure targets. In this case, however, Handala's approach was different. Instead of deploying a new piece of destructive malware, it weaponized the victim's own Microsoft environment. The group publicly framed the attack as politically motivated, tying it to broader Middle East tensions and portraying it as retaliation against what it described as Western support for certain regional actors. The tool that made this attack possible is Microsoft Intune, a cloud-based endpoint management service. It lets organizations manage laptops, desktops, mobile phones, and servers from a single console. Intune is a part of Microsoft's broader Unified Endpoint Management, or Endpoint Manager suite, and it's used by thousands of enterprises worldwide. Intune lets IT administrators push software updates, enforce security policies, and apply compliance rules. Crucially, it also includes a remote wipe function. When a corporate device is lost or stolen, or when an employee leaves the company, an admin can select that device in the Intune portal, choose the wipe action, and trigger a factory reset. According to Microsoft's own documentation, that wipe command restores a device to its default out-of-the-box state. It removes all personal and organizational data, deletes apps and settings, and in some configurations can even overwrite free space to make data recovery harder. In a normal secure environment, that's a safety feature. An attacker who gains control of the same Intune tenant can turn that safety feature into a weapon. Cybersecurity sources who spoke to major outlets like Krebs On Security and Bleeping Computer described the attack this way. First, the attackers gained access to Stryker's Microsoft environment. Once inside, the attackers logged into the Microsoft Entra tenant and then pivoted to the Microsoft Intune Management Console. From there, instead of installing new malware, they selected large groups of enrolled devices and issued bulk remote wipe commands. Since Intune is a cloud-based service, those wipe commands can be pushed to thousands of devices simultaneously. Reports indicate that tens of thousands of devices were wiped within a few hours. The attackers also defaced Stryker's Microsoft Entra login page, replacing the normal sign-in screen with the Handala logo. This was a clear signal that they were in control of the central identity and access layer for the entire organization. Most data wiping attacks fit into one of two patterns. Either the attacker deploys custom wiper malware that overwrites disks and deletes files, or they encrypt data with ransomware and then threaten to leak it. This Stryker attack is different because the destructive action was taken by Microsoft's own service, acting on its own data. For employees, the impact was immediate and jarring. People who opened their laptops or phones would suddenly see a setup wizard, as if the device had just been unboxed. Emails, documents, local browser data, and some cached application data were gone. From an operational standpoint, wiping tens of thousands of devices isn't just about data loss. Many of those machines were used to process orders, run manufacturing systems, and coordinate logistics. Restarting them isn't like rebooting a home laptop. It means rebuilding user accounts, reconfiguring software, reapplying security policies, and sometimes reinstalling entire operating system images. Stryker's public disclosure noted that its global network disruption affected computing infrastructure tied to Microsoft Windows-based systems, including both client devices and servers. The company also told employees to remove Microsoft Intune and associated apps from any personal devices, an admission that the attack had already reached private equipment. If you work at a company that uses Microsoft 365, Microsoft Entra ID, or Intune, you should assume this attack path is technically possible for you. Microsoft has not claimed that there is a bug in Intune or its identity stack that caused this attack. Instead, the company's stance aligns with how it typically characterizes such incidents. These are credential-based attacks that exploit misconfigured or weakly protected accounts, not fundamental flaws in the underlying services. Microsoft recommends that customers tightly restrict who has global administrator or equivalent privileges, enforce phishing-resistant multi-factor authentication, monitor sign-in logs for suspicious activity, and use conditional access policies to limit where and how privileged accounts can be used. For organizations using Intune, the vendor also emphasizes that administrators should treat the remote wipe feature as a sensitive capability. That means limiting who can trigger bulk wipe actions, auditing those actions centrally, and understanding which devices, especially personal ones, are enrolled in the system. You don't need to be a security expert to see the strategic lessons from this incident. Here are three that matter for any organization relying on Microsoft-based cloud management. 1. Tighten admin privileges beyond the default. In many environments, global admin is granted to a handful of IT staff just in case they need it. But in practice, most day-to-day tasks don't require that level of access. Moving to a model where only a tiny subset of accounts have global admin rights, and where those accounts are locked down with strict conditional access rules, can dramatically reduce the blast radius if one of them is compromised. 2. Assume phishing-style attacks can bypass MFA. Traditional multi-factor authentication is still useful, but it does not magically stop adversary-in-the-middle phishing or other token capture techniques. Organizations that want stronger protection should consider phishing-resistant MFA methods such as FIDO 2 security keys, more advanced certificate-based schemes, or Microsoft-provided options like Microsoft Entra Verified ID in appropriate scenarios. 3. Audit and segment what is enrolled in Intune. If your company has BYOD programs, it's important to know exactly which personal devices are enrolled, which data types are being pushed, and how those devices would be affected by a bulk remote wipe command. Some organizations choose to limit Intune to corporate-owned devices only, or to use separate Intune tenants for BYOD, so that wiping one set of devices doesn't automatically wipe the other. None of these steps is a magic shield, but they collectively make it much harder for an attacker to move from a compromised account to wiping your entire fleet. If you're not in IT, you might be wondering what this means for you personally. The most direct takeaway is simple. Any device you let your company enroll in a management system like Intune can be remotely wiped if that system is compromised. That includes personal phones with corporate email, work-issued laptops, and even tablets used for travel. 2 practical habits can help. First, be cautious about how you sign into corporate-related services. If you ever see a Microsoft login page that feels slightly off, a different domain, a strange layout, or a URL that doesn't match your company's usual single sign-on endpoint, stop and verify with your IT team. AITM phishing works because people don't scrutinize the login page closely enough. Second, understand your company's BYOD policy. If you're enrolling a personal phone into a management system, ask what would happen if that tenant were compromised. Would the company be able to wipe the entire device? Or is it limited to corporate data only? That kind of clarity can help you decide whether to enroll and under what conditions. You don't need to be paranoid, but you do need to treat administrative-level access and cloud-based wipe capabilities as serious levers of control, not just background IT plumbing. The Striker attack is a case study in how modern cloud infrastructure can become a double-edged sword. On centralized identity and endpoint management, make it easier to push security updates, enforce policies, and recover from lost or stolen devices. But when those same systems are hijacked, they can also be used to erase entire fleets in a matter of hours. For regulators, lawmakers, and security researchers, this incident raises questions about how organizations report and disclose attacks that primarily destroy data rather than steal it. It also underscores why cloud-native security is now inseparable from physical world operational continuity, especially in industries like healthcare and manufacturing, where IT systems are directly tied to production and supply chains. For you, the viewer, the takeaway is that if you rely on cloud-based identity and device management systems, you need to assume that the same tools meant to protect your organization can also be turned against it if an attacker reaches the right accounts. If you walk away with one concrete idea, let it be this: treat any admin-level account in your Microsoft or similar cloud tenant as a high-value target, because in the wrong hands, it becomes a remote control switch for wiping, resetting, and reshaping your entire digital workspace.